Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla 2023. Now, this version of Godzilla comes from the upcoming movie Godzilla Minus One, which, it's not out yet, like I just said, it's upcoming. So, in Japan it comes out on November 3rd, but here in the States it comes out on December 1st, so I will be seeing it when this movie drops. But based on the trailers we've gotten, I think it's going to be really good. I really like what we see. I really like Godzilla's design. And overall, I do think it's going to be a very good movie. We haven't had a live action Godzilla movie by Toho since 2016 with Shin Godzilla. And even though I love Shin Godzilla, it has been a while. So yeah, a new live action Godzilla movie by Toho is definitely overdue. So I'm glad we're getting it now. So yeah, really looking forward to Godzilla Minus One. I'm sure it'll be great. I will review the movie whenever it comes out on Blu-ray here in the States, so it might be a while until my review for that movie comes out. But rest assured, I will review Godzilla Minus One at some point. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't really know what else to say, so let's just get right into this. Like usual, before I take a look at the figure itself, I just want to take a quick look at the tag. And the tag here, I think, looks very nice. We have a nice render of Godzilla from Godzilla Minus One with a background. I don't know what the background is per se, but it still looks cool. Down here we have Godzilla 2023, both in Japanese and in English. And the Godzilla 2023 emblem right here, and some information here that I don't know what it says. I'm sorry, I can't read Japanese, forgive me. On the back here we have a nice silhouette of Godzilla's dorsal plates. Movie Monster Series, both in Japanese and in English. Bandai Namco, some more information here. Bandai, Toho, China, some more information. The inside, we have a nice silhouette of Godzilla from Godzilla Minus One, and just a bunch of, information here. Again, I don't know what a lot of this says, so, yeah. If you know what this says, then feel free to read it, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what any of this says. I mean, customer service, that I can read, but yeah, I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for the tag here. Now, going back to the figure itself, like usual, we'll take a look at the paint first. And the painting on this figure, I don't know. I don't know about the painting here. Let's take a closer look. So as you can see here, the entirety of this figure is casted in this charcoal gray, which, I think looks really nice. The front of the body here, we have a lot of really nice dry brushing, like on the legs here and on the chest and the arms here. And even on the head, we have a lot of really nice dry brushing, but unfortunately, it doesn't really continue throughout. The sides here are just completely untouched, but yeah, this figure looks good in the front, but then they just kind of stopped here, and I don't know, I wish there was more dry brushing throughout, but I digress. The toenails and fingernails are painted this grayish, greenish color, which I think looks nice. Going to the head here, the mouth is painted this nice, this reddish purplish color, which I think looks nice, and it has a really nice glossy finish to it. The teeth here are painted white, and again, they look nice. Unfortunately, the front teeth on the bottom row of the jaw, they're not painted, which a little unfortunate, but, it is what it is. And lastly, the eyes here are painted white with orange pupils, but the thing that I think is a little weird here, they kind of, sculpted, where the eye should go, but instead it almost looks like they kind of just painted over it, and it just looks a little sloppy, but I digress. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the painting here. I don't know how I feel. It's very minimalistic, which I think is fine. But, on the other hand, the front of the figure, you have a lot of really nice dry brushing, but then it just kind of stops, on the side of the figure here. So, I would have preferred, if we had more dry brushing, but then again, this still looks fine without the dry brushing, so I don't really know how I feel about this. It doesn't look bad, but I don't know. I guess if I were to give this a score, I'd say I'm going to be generous. I'm going to say the painting here gets a pass, because even though, well, there's no dry brushing on, like, the entire side of this figure, like, it doesn't really need it. And I know I said the eyes look a little wonky, but not, they still look fine, but just, I don't know. Overall, I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to say the painting here gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on this figure, I'm not even going to say it, because you know what I'm going to say. If you've been subscribed to my channel, you know exactly what I'm going to say about this. You know, like how what I usually say about Bandai vinyls, so, yeah. That's pretty much it for the articulation. Pretty average for modern movie Monster Series figures, so I think it's fine. The articulation here, I'd say gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure I think looks really nice. You know, the movie isn't out yet, but based on, like, all the renders that we've seen, I think, you know, I think the sculpting here looks really nice, and I might as well talk about it. I do really like Godzilla's design for this new movie, you know. It's a more modified, like, version of his, like, ride design, which I remember, you know, I know, like, you know, some people, when the design first leaked, I remember people were complaining that it was just a modified, you know, ride design, but I actually do like that design. But I like this design a little more, because all the way back in 2021, when I reviewed this guy, the movie Monster Series, Godzilla the Ride Godzilla, you know, I said that I really like this design for Godzilla, and I still do. I really like this design for Godzilla still, but the front here, I don't know, I think this, at least in this figure, I think he looks a little off. But with -1 Goji, you know, like, it's modified in a way to that, like, you know, it looks good from all angles, and not just the side like this guy. So, yeah, this guy, I think, has a better design. You know, I still like the ride design, but still, this guy's my favorite, you know, between the two of them. So, yeah, so the sculpting on this figure, like I said, I think looks very solid. So the sculpting here, I'd say definitely gets a pass. No question about it. Now, we'll take a look at the detailing, and the detailing on this figure is very good, so let's take a closer look at that. So, starting off with the head here, we can see all the, you know, little spikes on the back of his head, and all, like, the scales and everything here are detailed very nicely, and his face has a lot of really nice detailing there as well. Going to the neck here, again, just a lot of really nice scaling here, like, everything here is just, like, beautifully defined. Like, Bandai usually does a very good job with the detailing, and this figure is no exception. Like, the chest here, like, all the scales here are detailed beautifully. Like, this is honestly pretty much perfect. You know, we have a lot of really nice musculature in the arms here. Again, just a lot of really nice, like, scaling on the side of the body here and whatnot. Again, just a lot of really nice looking, like, you know, detail here. Like, all the scales and all, like, the, you know, little wrinkles and whatnot are detailed very nicely. Again, like, his legs here, a lot of really nice musculature, and again, just the scaling is just phenomenal. Going to his feet here, again, we have this very, like, theropod-esque, like, sort of detailing here for the toes, which, I mean, I know Godzilla was based on, like, you know, one of those, like, upright standing T-Rexes, but still, it is really cool to see, and, again, just a lot of really nice detailing there. Going to the tail here, just a lot of really nice detailing here, like, all the scales and just everything looks very, very good here, you know. And then we get to this point where we get a very, like, very noticeable seam, which, okay, I'm not going to lie, this does take away from the sculpt a little bit, but that's besides the point. Still, after that, though, we're back to this really nice detailing here, just a lot of really nice creases and, like, wrinkles and whatnot, and all, like, the little spikes on top of the tail just look really nice. And even the dorsal plates have a lot of really nice detailing to them as well. Just a lot of, you know, just a lot of, like, rigid bits throughout, which, again, just looks very good. And really quick, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but I actually do really like how the dorsal plates look on this design. I do like it a lot, so, yeah. Unfortunately, we're going to have no detailing at the feet, but we are going to have some information there. So, Toho, Bandai China, there you go. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the detailing here. And, yeah, just like with the sculpting, the detailing on this figure is phenomenal. I mean, again, like this bit with the tail, I'm not a big fan of, but besides that, the detailing here is very, very good. So the detailing on this figure, I'd say definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll do some size comparisons. I brought them up earlier, but here is the movie Monster Series Godzilla the Ride, Godzilla. Here we have the Bandai Movie Monster Series Shin Godzilla. Here we have the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla 2014. And of course, here we have some hand sanitizer. We'll just put that right there. And here we have Dr. Billy Grant. So at the end of the day, should you get this figure? I'd say yes. You know, if you want a decent Godzilla -1 figure and don't want to pay like over $100 for the SH Monster Arts one, like, seriously, Bandai, what are you doing? I mean, I still bought it, but that's besides the point. That's besides the point. Still, I do recommend that you pick this figure up, you know. The painting, I think, could have been touched up a little bit more, but for the most part, I do really like this figure, and I do recommend that you pick this guy up. As far as price tags go, before shipping and handling, I paid about 25 to 30 bucks, which is honestly not that bad, you know, like, again, the painting could have been a little better, but still, like, the sculpting, the detailing, like, everything else I think is pretty much on point, and yeah, 25 to 30 bucks is not a bad deal whatsoever. I got this guy from Hobby Link Japan, so if you do get this guy, you are going to have to pay extra for shipping, but, you know, if you're okay with that, then I do recommend getting this guy, because even with shipping, this guy is still, like, nowhere near as expensive as the SH Monster Arts -1 Godzilla. I mean, like I just said, I bought it still, but Bandai really shouldn't be charging that much, but I digress. But this figure, I think, is priced at a pretty reasonable price tag. So, yeah, get this figure if you can. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.